that led to the great war at Kurukshetra in the epic Mahabharata. It was greed. Greed on the part of Duryodhana to usurp all that the Pandavas had. Look at what happened. His as well as his dynasty's fall. Contest here, distinguished Toastmasters and guests. What happens when greed becomes so pervasive and percolates down to all layers of our society? I've been wondering over this on the events that have been happening around us in the last couple of months. And the epiphany I had was that nature truly imposes limits on your greed. Bubbles built on greed, be it by the government, corporate, or individual, cannot balloon forever. At some point in time, they implode, and that's what history teaches us. Look at the turmoil happening in the world around. All this because of the greed of investment bankers. Of course, there are other reasons like lack of government regulation by the US government. But the subprime crisis owes its origin to the greed by investment bankers when they devised this complex instruments called credit default swaps. They were likened to actually weapons of mass destruction. But some of the investment banking community would have seen it coming, but they pretended to be oblivious of it. They were cocooned in their bubble of wealth they were creating and pretended to not know the consequences. And what happened? The world is reeling under their greed. Or look at the war being waged in Iraq by the US. The ostensible purpose being eliminating weapons of mass destruction. But whereas the real motive, you all know, is to get hold of oil in Iraq. The US has not been spectacularly successful. They have not been even successful. The first oil contract from Iraq went to a Chinese company. They've been having some victories, but the casualties of war has been humongous. At best, it has been a Pyrrhic victory for the US. You don't have to go as far as the US to see illustrations of greed. Look at what's happening in our backyard in Kerala. Last month, police nabbed a person who allegedly had defrauded thousands of people, amounting to a staggering over 200 crores. This man was running a company called Total for You, which had promised returns of over 1.6 lakhs on an investment of 1 lakh in a span of 3 months. Can you believe this? And there were people flocking to make a killing on this. But very shortly, Total for You became Total Doom for You. This reminds me of a scenario in the early 90s when there were hordes of companies dealing in cows, pigs, pig, management and whatnot. I still remember the brochure I had of a pig farm wherein you had to invest a nominal amount which was guaranteed to bring in egregious returns. With the amount you invest, they would buy a pig and this pig would reproduce. You will have piglets. This piglets too would reproduce. The cover of the brochure was a pyramid. And on top of the pyramid was your pig. Your money, you work hard to bring in money to buy one pig and the pig works so hard for you. Those firms are not there anymore. All those type of firms are not in circulation anymore. Companies all over or charlatans all over who have duped people by their chicanery and not been able to do so by that alone. But it has been due to the complicity of people who allow themselves to be duped. We all have an iota of greed. We all have a drive to acquire the motive, the maximum in the smallest possible of time, to the smallest possible effort. And it is this that we have to rein in. We have to rein in this basic nature of man. We need to balance contentment with our aspirations. We can be ambitious, but with the modicum of caution, There is a state of natural equilibrium which governs everything in the world, including the world of finance built by man. You cannot grow money overnight. Money doesn't grow on trees. Anything which is intended to beat the system is bound to fail because we cannot overcome the state of natural equilibrium. History, they say, is an unfolding of miscalculations. Only if we had the if we have the wisdom to learn from our experiences, to learn and unlearn, beware of chasing bubbles built on greed. There may be many ventures which promise you a bang for your buck. Make sure the venture is something wherein your buck will last, not just a bang. Always remember, beyond the provision of material comfort, more money does not bring more happiness. It only gives you the illusion of happiness. That is from a distance. I'd like to end with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Nature provides enough for every man's need, but not every man's greed.